Welcome to Riverside TV, sponsored by Riverside Collectibles. I'm your host, Doug-Rentsch, and today we're going to be reviewing CMC's 1/18th scale die-cast model cars of the Ferrari Dino 156 Formula 1 car from 1961, the so-called Sharknose Ferrari. Now, the actual car, just a little background history, the first rear-engine Ferrari to ever be built, and it came about because of the change in the engine regulations from 2.5 liters down to 1.5 liters. And again, Ferrari went to their Formula 2 technology, like they had done in the early 50s, and used their V6 Dino engine. Now, of course, all Ferrari V6 engines have the name Dino because it was a tribute to Enzo Ferrari's son, who was tragically killed. And so all V6 engines from then on were named Dinos. This particular car has, as I said, a 1.5 liter, 120 degree V6 producing 190 horsepower at 9,500 RPM. It's a space frame car, and believe it or not, Ferrari pretty much stayed with space frame technologies right through the 70s, whereas in the early 60s, 61 or 62, 63, many of the British manufacturers going to monocoque. Ferrari stayed with the space frame, and in later years they continued to add riveted panels to it. So they look like a monocoque chassis, but they weren't until they finally changed over in the late 70s. This car was its distinctive design. The air intakes in the front, which give it the Sharknose name, was designed by the famous designer Carlo Chiti, who designed many Ferraris and then went over to Alfa Romeo. And that's more style than it is function, but it really makes for a very beautiful Formula 1 car. Now, let's move in and check the detail a little bit more on this. See if we can see the front suspension. It's typical for the period, unequal length parallel A-frames, coil-over shocks, that you can see in there. Always want to get a little glimpse of Ferrari, of the CMC wire wheels, which are always so spectacular. Now the front, very distinctive Sharknose design. There it is. That's what gives it its name, the Sharknose. And we'll move back, take a look inside the cockpit. Again, see the traditional blue fabric color seat that the Ferraris all carried in that era. Wood rim steering wheel. Gray painted space frame. Roll bar. See the fine mesh over the air intakes for the carburetors. We'll move back. And this car is always a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. A longer tail section. You can see the two tailpipes coming out the back. And you can see the rear suspension on this car. Same as the front, unequal parallel A-frames with coil-over shocks. The stenciling on the side of all Ferraris of the period was actually a road registration number, like a license plate. I don't know why Ferrari exactly did that, but that was one of the things they did. If we lift open the engine compartment, you can see a little bit better some of this detail here. It's got an open dry clutch on the, as you can see in the back, with the holes in it. The gearbox, the gray painted tubular chassis, inboard disc brakes. You can see the engine almost looks like a flat 6, but it's a V6 120 degrees. Let's close that down. And we'll can back out. And this car, I said, is available. It's model M068, the number 2 car, driven by Phil Hill in the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. The other one that's still available is Count Wolfgang-von-Tripps number 3 car that he drove at the Nürburgring the same year. And then, of course, the number 4 car, driven by Phil Hill at Monza, driven at Spa, is sold out. And for those of you really serious about collecting this car, they also make a very limited production of 500 of a 1/12 scale model. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email. It's Doug at riverside-collectibles.com, and I can give you further information on that if you're interested. So that's the 1961 Ferrari Dino Sharknose rear-engine Formula One car. We'll see you again next time on Riverside TV. Thanks for watching. This is Doug-Rentsch.